Kenny here with Gardening Simplified. It's February 24th. We're a few days later than we like to be, but we're going to be planting potatoes. Now, when it comes to planting potatoes for us, we're going to use a tractor. We got a middle buster plow on the back, and we're just going to plow a furrow, put some fertilizer down. We'll go through all that. But you don't have to have a tractor to plant potatoes. A hoe works real good and make you a little place to put them. We used to just make little holes in the row. You can put our potatoes in each one. You can make a furrow down the row and put your potatoes, whichever is easiest for you. But let's get started. I'm going to get these uh, furrows made. Okay, we got our furrows dug. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these potatoes up. Now, these ones that's been in storage a long time, they are uh, really kind of shriveled. They're getting soft, but they've got good eyes on them. And you want, let's say, at least two eyes on there. I don't really worry about that when your eyes are growing good. Now, when they aren't, and we'll talk about eyes on some where they don't have the green sprouting going on. But this here, I've just got one on each. These will do just fine. Now, a lot of people want to take and let these heal over, which that's a possibility. If that's what you want to do, go ahead and do it. I never do. I just cut them and plant them. If they're sprouting, then they're ready to go. Some of these are really wicked as far as the eyes go. We're just going to cut through this mess. We'll leave a couple on both sides. Now you could cut these up smaller if you want. Now when I get a big one, I'll cut it in several pieces. If it's got a whole lot of eyes sprouting, I'll just uh, cut it so I have multiple pieces. Now I'm going to plant these separate from the ones that are just now sprouting because I want to test and see how well these old ones do. The others were in the cooler, so they didn't start sprouting until I took them out. But it's just a matter of cutting these up. Planting potatoes isn't no big thing. Now you can do these in containers just fine. Understand your type of your potato makes a difference. A lot of people say keep putting dirt on it. Unless you've got a indeterminate variety of potatoes, it's not going to make a difference. Now I do put dirt up on them. Once they start getting up a little ways, and the reason for that is the potatoes will start putting on above this potato you plant. So they're going to get in this area. Putting the dirt there keeps them from being exposed to sunlight. Once they get exposed to sunlight, they get a chemical in there when they turn green that's toxic. So you don't want to end up with that. Now you don't want any brown potatoes. Now these are a little darker, but that's not brown spot. If you got brown spots, you don't want to plant that potato because brown spot is a disease, and that disease will. Let's see how we want to cut this one. That disease will get in there, and it's already in the ground, like in my area, I already got some of that because some of the seed potatoes that are supposed to be certified had that in them. And when you bring it in, it's going to be in your ground. So you just try to do your best. Now, see, this one here is rotted. We're not going to plant this. Anything you see like that, don't bother planting uh, because it's just going to rot. Look like I got another one I didn't see in here where they've got this rotted middle. But now these ones here are just now starting to sprout. You can see little sprouts, and this is the eye. And you can tell why they say it's an eye. It kind of looks like an eye. But anyway, when you say seed potatoes, this is the, yeah, we'll go ahead and put them in that. This is about the size potato you want. You want between a golf ball and a tennis ball. And all these can be cut up. If your eyes aren't growing, don't worry. If some are starting, the rest will start. Some are doing more than the others. Now I could cut these down smaller, but I'm not going to. I'm not planning to plant as many potatoes. I did 2 rows. If it seems like I'm going to have more, then I'll go ahead and do a third row of potatoes. But right now, and you can see some of these eyes are sprouting more than others. Now, if you knock the eye off, that eye that you knock off isn't going to grow. I've tried planting them just to see, and they don't. But this year we're going to try just planting our potatoes. We're not going to buy any potatoes. I missed another one in here. Get that out of there. Some decide to sprout quite a bit quicker than others, but it's no hard process. Like I say, just make sure it's got a couple of eyes. They don't have to be sprouting just so it's got the eyes on there. Now these are red Pontiacs. This is one that always does good in our area. And these, like I say, these are a lot firmer because they've been in the cooler since it was harvested last year. But like I say, if you want to let them heal over, that's fine, but I never do it. But anyway, that's our red Pontiacs. I'm going to go ahead and do the same process with our Yukon Golds. Okay, we got our taters out here, and we've got our fertilizer down here. We just use pelleted chicken litter. We use about a 5-gallon bucket on the row, and all we're going to do is we're going to push a little dirt. We don't want to put our potatoes right on the fertilizer, but we want them to get there pretty quick. So we're going to push a little dirt on here and just cover that up. And then we're going to come back here with our potatoes, and we're going to plant these older ones that's really sprouted first. And what you want to do is you just want to push them, and you want the eyes to face up. You don't just want to drop them. And you can plant them about 8 to 10 inches apart is fine. Now, as we were cutting potatoes, our Yukon Golds. We had a whole lot of rot in the middle of them, so we might be short on some. We might actually have to go to the feed store and buy some seed potatoes. I'm sure they've still got a few there. A lot of people wait. Get out of there. Got to stay on the dog. But anyway, what we do is just put them in like this, and then we're going to come back, and we don't bury these real deep because we want them to get some green on them. So we're just going to put enough dirt that they're an inch or two below the ground, and then as they sprout up and they get to growing, we'll come back and use our hilling attachment. But you can do this with a hoe. Come back and hoe them up. But that's all it is to it. Now we're going to get the rest of these planted. Okay, we got all the potatoes planted. We had to go to town, get us another 5 pounds because we had so many bad potatoes of the ones that we'd saved last year. Now we're planting our Jimmy Red corn. We've already planted a few rows here. Looks like about 10 of them. But we're going to finish out our seeds that we have. Now these were from Haas Tools. I'm not affiliated with them, but that's the Jimmy Red corn. I got a pound of seeds. I've still got quite a few. And this is easy enough to do. Now, the thing about corn, well, let's go back to potatoes. One more thing I want to say about potatoes is, according to the Farmer's Almanac and old timers, they say plant your potatoes or your underground crops on the waning moon. So when the moon is on the decrease, that's the time, which now is that time, which I plant them whenever I get a chance to. They will come up otherwise. They just say that they do better. But back to the corn. Corn needs to be planted in blocks. Now, with the way I'm planting it here, I'm planting these rows roughly probably 30, 32 inches apart. But I'm planting them in a way that I can come in here and use my hilling attachment to lay these corn by, because once they get up so high, you want to fertilize them again and lay them by. And so I've got to put these in here in a way I can use my tractor, because this is too much corn for me to do just with a hoe and by hand. But I do have an older video of laying by corn if you're interested in going back and looking at it. And I would say, if you're trying to find the one I have, just put in the YouTube search bar Polvy's Organic and laying by corn, and you'll pull up that video. But anyway, when it comes to planting corn, all I do, I'll use the back of my rake or back of a hoe, and then I just make a furrow and I just drop my corn. Now, you can put it 6, 8, 12 inches apart. I put it about 8 inches apart. It does have to be planted in blocks. Now, the way this is here, it's definitely in blocks, but if you're in a smaller garden area, you'll want to make a little clump of corn if you're trying to grow corn, if you don't have a whole lot of area. Because normally when you plant it, you want at least 3 rows. Corn wind pollinates, so it's got to be close enough that the pollen will fall down on the tassels on the corn when the ears start to form. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and plant this. The field corn, you kind of plant it a little earlier than sweet corn. It's a little bit hardier, so if it does get a little cold spell, it's not going to be affected the same way as sweet corn. Sweet corn, you would probably wait a while, but with our temperatures like it's looking like, we should be fine. If the corn gets up big enough and it freezes, it will come back from the bottom because it's growing from the center, so it will come back. It'll just kind of set it back. Sometimes if it's hard enough, it'll set it back and make it where it won't grow good. But anyway, that's where we're at. We're going to plant as much of this until we run out of this bag of that, and then I don't know what we'll do with the rest of this plot. We'll figure something out. But anyway, I hope if you're down here in the south, you're getting that garden area prepared, getting all those plants in, especially your potatoes, because it's time. And just get after it. Gardening season's here. Time to enjoy. If you want to see more videos like this, of course, hit that subscribe, hit the bell, select all, give it a big thumbs up, and share this video. Enjoy that gardening experience.